Tired of the 9 to 5 grind? Have a long commute? Imagine having a 3-day weekend every week without a pay cut.
In fact, the last time, as we understand it, the Senate held a hearing on this subject was in the year 1955.
Sounds like a dream, right? But could a 4-day work week actually work? Or would it be a disaster for businesses and employees alike? Let's find out. Hello everyone, welcome to BizOne. Today, we're diving into the growing debate over the 4-day work week. The idea has been gaining traction, especially with Senator Bernie Sanders even pushing for a nationwide shift from 40 to 32 hours. But is this a realistic future or just wishful thinking? The concept isn't new, but it's gained momentum in recent years. Fun fact, the 40-hour work week was officially adopted in the United States in 1940. It was the result of a series of events that began in 1916 and included the Adamson Act in 1916, which passed an 8-hour workday, and Ford Motor Company instituted a 5-day, 40-hour work week. The idea was actually to ensure that the employees were well rested and that well-paid workers would buy more things, including his cars. But times have changed, and burnout amongst millennials and Gen Z are at an all-time high, with studies showing that 63% of knowledge workers experienced it last year. Do you feel stress and anxiety at your workplace? At the same time, priorities are shifting. Work-life balance now ranks higher than salary for many job seekers. Ever since the pandemic, there's been an increasing shift for jobs that provide significant work-life balance and great benefits. There's even a shift and an emphasis for those who want to work from home. Why commute a long time on the highway or in transit when you can work in the luxury of your own pajamas? Technology has also changed the game, making workers more efficient than ever, which makes the 40-hour work week perhaps more of a goal rather than a necessity. A LinkedIn survey found that over half of employees consider a 4-day work week a top workplace perk, or even the ability to work 1 out of the 5 days from home. But does the reality match the hype?
But first, let's talk about the workplace. For nearly a decade, companies and governments have been experimenting with shorter hours with no cuts in pay. While the results do vary, the research shows that people are less stressed, value their jobs more, and have better lives outside of work. In most cases, they are as productive in 4 days as they are in 5.
Proponents argue that a shorter work week can boost productivity, improve well-being, and even benefit the environment. Take the trial in Iceland, for example. When they reduced working hours, productivity stayed the same or improved across most workplaces. Microsoft Japan ran a similar experiment and saw a 40% increase in productivity. Employees in these programs report feeling less stressed, healthier, and more engaged at work. Plus, fewer commutes meant a smaller carbon footprint because of less commuting time. And from a business perspective, pilot programs show an average revenue growth of 15% thanks to healthier, happier, and more focused employees. Essentially, you're basically converting the 40-hour work week into 32 hours, providing an extra day of rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation. Employees show up to work more focused and more engaged with the extra long weekend every week of the year. But not everyone is convinced. A 4-day work week isn't feasible for every industry, especially in industries such as customer service and healthcare. They require round-the-clock staffing. Imagine your family doctor only being accessible for 4 days out of the week. Some businesses worry about reduced availability hurting client relationships, while others struggle with scheduling and coverage. For small businesses operating on tight margins, losing a full day of work could be a financial risk. Depending on the implementation as well, Employees might be required to work overtime to meet deadlines, leading to potential extra costs for the company. If not properly managed, the workload of employees working on a traditional 5-day schedule could increase to compensate for those on a 4-day week. So how can companies make it work? First, businesses need to assess whether a shorter work week aligns with their industry and customer needs. Some companies maybe stagger schedules instead of shutting down completely over one day over the 5, which ensures coverage, but they also give employees flexibility, so they remain open for 5 days, but just shift around the schedule so that they remain open. Some companies opt for hybrid models, where employees work slightly longer days, but they get every other Friday off. The key is balancing productivity with flexibility. If a strict 4-day schedule isn't viable, there needs to be alternative solutions, such as maybe flexible hours or hybrid work, to improve customer satisfaction and also reduce employee burnout. Several countries already work fewer hours than the standard 40-day work week. Workers in Iceland, Finland, and Germany, for example, average less than 35 hours per week. France has even mandated a 35-hour work week. In a recent North American pilot program, 41 companies tested the 4-day work week. The results? Across the board, employees reported better health, improved work-life balance, and higher job satisfaction. Every participating company planned to keep the policy after the trial ended. But we need to remember that the 4-day work week is not a one-size-fits-all solution, even though it has real potential. Think about it like this. If you ran a restaurant and found yourself in a labor shortage, it would be not a viable option to limit your chefs and cooks to 32 hours of work a week. Even if you added 8 hours of overtime to make it 40, you still might find yourself in a situation where there's a high labor shortage and you're not able to find enough chefs to have a rotating, flexible schedule. What do you think? Should the traditional work week change, or are the risks too high? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more business insights. Thank you for watching this latest video from BizOne, and see you in the next one.
The question that we are asking today is a pretty simple question. Do we continue the trend that technology only benefits the people on top, or do we demand that these transformational changes benefit working people? And one of the benefits must be a lower work week.